Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another review, and this is day 5 of building a Gundam kit a day, and this is the high-grade Gundam 00 Quanta. That little red Bandai logo down here in the corner means that this kit is pre the logo color change, so this is from 2010. I don't personally know if there has been any blue logo reprints of this. If you do know, drop it down in the comments. It seems like this one is still encased in its saran wrap of purity. I don't know why some stores do this. By the way, I got this off of Mercari through Bai. That's why it has something like this attached on. Wait, this looks like maybe it's from a recycle store. So probably off of Yahoo, off of Bai. So this kit right here came out in 2010, which is definitely a bit of a watershed moment when it comes to gunpla, especially high grades. So it is kind of like, for me, the edge of the knife when it comes to something that I do enjoy or something that I do not, due to being kind of a bit on the basic side. So we'll see what it ends up being like. Just think about it. In 2 years, this kit would be old enough to drive. Anyway, let's get it open and get it built. Alright, let's get this unboxed and see what we do have inside of it. So, yep, that's a box alright. Inside, oh, this is an interesting looking manual. It's kind of folded in a different sort of way than we normally see. Anyway, that right there's the manual. Again, this is an older kit, so nothing is translated. Everything is in Japanese. But when it does come to the instructions, you shouldn't really have any issue at all. Also, we do have a lineup of the other kits, well, the other Setsuna kits from this line. Gundam Mecha, which I have quite literally in there, staring right at me. 00 Gundam, Gundam Mecha Repair 2, and 00 Riser and GN Sword 3. This I have sitting on the shelf over there for building as well, so I might get around to that one soon too. Believe it or not, this kit is on 3 runners and 3 runners only. Then it's just effect parts, a stand, and the polycap. So it's going to be an extremely simple build. So yeah, plastic-wise in here we've got 1, 2, 3 bags. And yeah, high grade has really come very, very far in the last 14 or so years. They're now very complex kits compared to what we once saw, which of course does make them a little bit more expensive, but a lot more involved to build. And to me, in general, a lot more impressive. So talking about the interesting aspects of what's in here, we've got one whopper of a runner of polycaps. There is the runner A of plastic, predominantly in white, but we do have color separation, and the clear parts in here are just in straight clear. Always nice for customs. Runner B then is all the frame segments. We do have a widespread open hand, always nice to see. There are all the blue parts, nothing really of interest on there. The effect parts in here are in a very, very nice shade of almost like emerald green. They are a little bit on the flexy side. And finally then we do have a full included stand. This is one of those older style that we saw a lot around the 2010s. So you do have 2 lengths and angles of the actual stand arm, and this one has been given some nice glittery GN particles throughout it. As for the stickers, there's quite a few color correcting ones. Ignore the circular ones, they're really just for underneath the GN condensers, but there is a lot of blue, white, and a few little dark ones as well for various places. Also, these are definitely classic stickers. They don't feel as high quality as what you get in kits nowadays. So when it comes to the build of this is a very classic high-grade style build. So you've got a lot of polycaps. Pretty much in everything that's going to move, you're going to be sticking a polycap in there. You use pretty much everything but 5 polycaps off of that little rubber runner. The armor sections just build up onto the various joints on the kit. There is nothing akin to an inner frame or anything similar like that. It's very hollow and simple in that old school kind of way. When it comes to the GN condensers on this, the plastic sections are in clear, and we just have a kind of dark, and I mean incredibly dark green or blue sticker for underneath. That goes for all of the clear parts. So it does mean if you do want to make them a little bit more interesting, you will have to bring paint. Overall, I do think this is a kit, if you are going to build it, it is worth painting. This is kind of the point in time where Gundam kits, sure they were somewhat color accurate out of box, just not that impressive. A lick of paint and it will look so much better. The layering of parts on the torso is quite nice. When it comes to the head, this layers up simply as well. Again, clear parts in here, you will require stickers for the eyes, as well as the condensers on the side of the head and that center in the middle of the V-fin. But on top of that, there is blue color correcting stickers for this head as well, which is a big letdown when it comes to the focal point of a Gundam. Alright, so I have it all cut out, time to get this built up. So there are the legs. These actually go on that funny little removable leg segment. I'd almost forgotten that existed. That just then slots up inside of the waist unit like that. The torso just pops on via a ball joint polycap. That is the only articulation in the torso at all. This does look nice. The color scheme on the Quanta is a very nice take on the classic color scheme. When it comes to the shoulders, these are the usual shoulder polycaps, ball joints in the shoulders like so that just pop on into those. Around back, there is no clear parts on the kind of little GN condensers or whatever. There's a lot of hollow aspects to it as well, but again, this was what it was like back in 2010 when you're building high grades. If you want them to look perfect, you do have to put in a little bit effort of your own, but still, out of box, not the worst by any margin. Still a very nice 1/44th scale Gundam kit. And finally, here is the high-grade 00 Quanta in all of its glory. Now, I will say, this right here is one of those kits that shocked me a little bit. The build itself was old school and a little bit on the boring side compared to something you'd be building these days. But the finished model kit is really impressive. I'm actually blown away by this. And just like I mentioned, around the 2010 point, at least for me, is a watershed moment when it comes to Gundam model kits. Something there really did change because the kits that would have came out before this, including the Exia and the Gundam 00, just aren't quite as impressive as this right here. Now, I will mention straight away, there is one particular aspect about this kit that does let it down a lot for me, at least if it is straight built. If you're painting it, not a big issue at all. And that is the colorless clear parts. These are super beneficial if you are customizing your kit because you can paint them in whatever clear color you want, but out of box you do lose them by using this sticker that goes over them. That one in the forehead definitely gets me the most because it would be nice to have that in a nice translucent green, but the particular shade of green on the Quanta is a very, very dark green, so you can't just use the old Sharpie technique on this one. You're definitely going to have to either mix up or get yourself a very dark green for using with it. For the review, however, I am just going to stick that sticker on, sadly. And you know what? I'm actually going to take the risk and try and stick the sticker on underneath the clear part to see what happens. Just did it. That actually didn't turn out too bad at all. So now I've got the correct color and the still, well, shiny aspect of the green. You don't even notice the top where the peg of the clear section would have pierced through the green part underneath. So hey, that worked out quite well. But yeah, into that full 360-degree spin so you can see every angle of it for yourself. I am impressed. This is so nice. The proportions, everything look phenomenal. The clear green parts up on that shoulder armor look incredibly good, and overall it's not bad. There are some color inaccuracies here and there, but for the most part, nothing you couldn't detail up very quickly and just still have a perfect kit out of box with minimal effort. Again, I did not even panel line this. There are some nice panel lines on it to hit up. And honestly, I feel the worst aspect is the color accuracy, but like I said, it's not the worst. As for the stickers that are in here for that, however, this is the sheet of stickers right here. I did use the vast majority of them besides some blue because I thought they would kind of affect it in a negative kind of way. But as for what I did use, most of those large round stickers are for in the condensers and the drive. So they're just like a dark green, almost black, for inside all of these here on the chest, the sides of the legs, the sides of the head, as well as the arms. That big white one there right in the middle, that attaches onto the shield on the shoulder, so that is definitely noticeably a sticker. This blue one right here, as well as this blue one right here, those are for using up on the head. I only used the one in the direct front. I didn't use the one towards the back because I don't like too many stickers on the head, but it is a little bit sad when a Gundam kit's head is not fully accurate. Lastly, then we've got these 4 large blue ones, and these are for actually sticking up here on this GN blade for using with a weapon we will be looking at a little bit later on. So now jumping into the size comparison, and there it is side by side with 2 average size Gundams, being the high grade Oryx 78-2 Revive and the high grade Gundam Mark II, also the Revive. Beside 2 Gundam 00 kits, which is the high-grade Exia and the high-grade Kyrios, and beside a couple of newer high-grade kits being the high-grade Rising Freedom and the high-grade Gundam Calibarn. So now jumping into the accessories, and there's absolutely everything that comes with the high-grade Gundam 00 Quanta. What we get is that sparkly stand, the GN Sword 5, an alternate part for the GN Sword 5, as well as an alternate hand. That also is not forgetting all of those GN bits up on the shield on the shoulder. Let's check them out. So when it comes to the hands in here, we've got 2 of the classic block hands. So that is the usual kind of holdy type, like so. The good news is we do have some widespread dynamic ones in here as well, which always makes me happy, especially when it comes to a mobile suit like the Quanta that usually just holds a weapon in one hand. So now you've got one to look dynamic. When it comes to the weapons, we've only really got one in here, which is this. And what more do you need when that one weapon is the GN Sword 5? Popping this into the hand is quite simple. It just slides on in like so. We've also got a second point of attachment which attaches into the forearm, typical Gundam 00 style, and one of my favorite things when it does come to Gundam designs, because this makes sure it's nice and secure. So now that I've got that attached, it's about time to get this up on the air. So let's throw it on the included stand very quickly. I'm not going to use this for the review because it doesn't really suit. I like to be able to move kits around so I can get them angled nicely for the camera. This won't do that, but it will work absolutely perfectly for getting it up on the shelf. Oh, I forgot these kits have a little bit of a privacy cover over their hole. Just pop that off like so, and then in goes the stand. And sure, I might as well use this to get it into at least one pose. So the power just went out, so I'm on backup review power, which I'm actually glad I do have. So it won't be as bright as it was before, but it's not entirely dark. Anyway, there is the 00 Quanta and a bit of a pose with that sword. This is one of my all-time favorite weapons. Actually, I love all of the GN swords. It's just a nice, big old crystalline blade, and it just looks so good. So this has a sword mode and a rifle mode. In order to swap it to rifle mode, it just swings down like so. So it's held like a shooty rifle, and then you just pop this off and twist it. Next up, we've got this shield up here with those beautiful clear effect parts. This does open up just like so, which is very, very nice. We've got that drive section inside that just pokes out like that. And of course, on here, we also have all of these removable bits. So these bits can be attached onto the sword. In order to do that, you just have to remove the blade by taking off these side pieces. The blade then just pops on out like so. Now we grab this here little segment, which pops in just where we remove the blade from, and there are two modes to this. These little bits reattach on here, holding on the blade. There's one. There is the second. These bits then attach on like this, 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 and this. So there it is in Buster Sword mode, and this is really incredible. I love the Buster Swords from Gundam 00. This is massive, over the top, full of clear pieces, and just looks intense. What really actually shocks me is the fact that this kit can hold it up and isn't having any issues, at least right now. If you've got a kit, this one right here, and you've had it for 10 plus years, let me know. How does it hold up? You can also then swap this to the GN5 Buster Sword Rifle mode. This is slightly a little bit different. Basically, you can rearrange the normal mode into this right here, but there is a slight difference between the kind of build. Instead of being attached in at the end, it's actually attached in like so, which means you're bringing it back ever so slightly, and what you get in the end is this little bit of a kind of open end on it, obviously to shoot out from in here. So yeah, that is what it looks like in rifle mode. It is over the top again, and I am actually shocked by just how well this mobile suit is actually able to hold up such a massive weapon. Of course, you could get a little bit of a stand to just prop in under here if you do not trust it so much. But again, if you've got this kit, let me know. How does this hold up over time? Because right now out of box, it's impressive. Very impressive. So now finally onto the articulation, and honestly, so far I'm incredibly impressed by this kit right here. It's good and solid anyway, I'll say that. It just, for something with some old school polycaps, they've done it just the right way. I always remember the grey plastic on these older kits having a nice little bit of grip to it. I'm not sure if it's ABS or polystyrene. I just checked the manual and it's polystyrene, but it just feels so different. A little bit harder, more grippier. Anyway, test pose. So getting into the usual pose, and what can I say, this flows very nicely, it's good and solid, nothing's falling off, so it's nothing like the Gundam 00. This feels really, really good. I am shocked. Again, one thing I did miss earlier on was talking about the build of this is it does have 2 points of ab crunch, not just the one. It doesn't have a solid torso. There is 2 points going on in there, and this, in the end, is what I got. So this pulls off the pose so incredibly good. Again, a kit that is better than the sum of its parts. The build wasn't too enthralling, very old school, but the actual finished model kit is sheer perfection. Again, absolutely impressed. So yeah, this is one of those videos that it's super quick, so it does mean I won't be doing the usual end little bits. So this right here, I have to give it gold tier, even by modern standards. The only thing that really brings it down is the color separation, but if you're going to paint this kit, it is phenomenal. Even if it's just a little bit of detailing, absolutely awesome. Anyway, as always, I got this through Bai. If you do want one of your own, link in the description. Come back again tomorrow for more Gunpla reviews. See you then. Once again, I kind of finished this video right here without special thanks to the channel members and the patrons over on Patreon, including Simon Paskin, Abraxas, Caleb Engelhart, Joe, RG59061, ShadowWolf179, Van Fawn, and Scotty Thomas.